What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new tactic, and today it is going to be Ancelotti's broken 4-4-2. The recent success over Man City, it had to be done after several requests over on the Patreon. If you do enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and if you do like live streams, you want to see how I make these tactics, how they perform actually in the game as well, make sure you come on over and check out the live streams on this page. So you've got to go nowhere. We are always live on YouTube now. Let's get into the testing. So we are going to start off with, obviously, his current team. That is going to be Real Madrid. Now, Ancelotti has managed a lot of top teams, and I could have gone over and tested with all of the powerhouses. I've spiced things up today, and we've got a Real Madrid team, a Newcastle team, and an FC20 team. So three very different teams. I could have gone all powerhouse. I thought, do you know what? Let's switch things up. Now, I will go over and say, with Real Madrid, we did enjoy genuinely a remarkable season. We're going to win the Champions League 6-1 over Newcastle, which I will say is a double win because we got to the final with Newcastle, the other team we test with. And obviously, when you put two teams, usually against each other, with the same system, one's got Mbappe, Rodrigo, Vinicius, and the other's just got one real standout player, of course Madrid are going to come out on top. So for me, Newcastle probably deserved that win in terms of if they didn't play us. The Spanish First Division, of course, we also are going to go and win. 33 wins, 5 draws and 0 losses. 3 players of ours in the top goal scorers. I will say, despite this being a 4-4-2, it is very attacking. It loves to get goals, and trust me, you can score a ton. Also, in terms of the average rating, the second most clean sheets, and it is nice to see Luka Modric still up there when it comes to the assists, alongside of Rodrigo and also Valverde. So a very good season, and as you can see, 162 goals, 923 shots, the fewest shots against, a good amount of dribbles, and defensively, conceding only 20 over the whole season, and just 1 clean sheet behind Barcelona. Now, of course, the data hub as well, 4.26 goals a game, 0.53 conceded, a very good pass completion, and a good amount of shots per game as well. So really ticking off everything. And of course, there is still these 2 trophies: the Spanish Cup 4-1 over Atletico Madrid, and also the Super Cup 3-0 over Barcelona. So it is going to be the perfect flawless season. But I'm going to show you this game, because I'm going to show you where the game actually took place. So it was at the Bernabeu, the second leg of the Champions League semi-final. We beat a full-strength Barcelona team 7-0. Now, I will say, I'm going to get it out there, we are using my set pieces. They are a little bit broken, I'm going to be honest. As you can see, we are going to score 2 very early on to take a very good lead. This one, a little bit more scrappy, but the set pieces are so broken, so make sure you go and get them. Genuinely, they help me out so much when it comes to getting goals. Valverde's going to win it back on the press. A little bit of a fake cross there, and I'm going to be honest, we're 3-0 up in 30 minutes. This Barcelona team's confidence must have been absolutely in the bin, literally non-existent, because they couldn't do anything right, and every attack we were having, there was always a player available. It's the great thing about this 4-4-2 that he does play. When you've got Vinicius and Mbappe up front, you can't really wish for much more. You've got pace, you've got dribbling, you've got great finishing, you've got movement, you've pretty much got everything, maybe apart from work rate. That's probably their only weakness, which they don't even really need in this system. And I'll be honest with you, Valverde again, absolutely incredible in this system. A player that can be hot or cold for me in this game, but this year was absolutely remarkable. And Mbappe, again, is going to make it 6. And this is against a full-strength Barcelona team. And it wouldn't be a JoshDaly video without one last set piece, a 7-0 win. As mentioned, we do put a test through with Newcastle as well, and very impressed. Not only did we get to the Champions League final, we are going to go on to win the Premier League, and we failed to win 4 games. A draw against Arsenal and City, and a loss against Tottenham and Everton. So a very good set of results where we are going to see one of the most busted strikers in the game. Isaac score 55 goals. Gordon enjoyed a great season as well. 15 assists and 31 goals in the league. Nick Pope is going to be down in 3rd, and what I will say is, in terms of stats, we are not going to be as dominant defensively. We still are very good, but for example, we're tied conceded when it comes to Arsenal, and for the clean sheets, we are going to be joint 2nd, 3 behind Arsenal as well. But we still are going to outscore everyone. The most goals, the most shots, and the data hub is still very impressive. 3.32 goals a game, way under a goal conceded at 0.74. A very solid pass completion, considering this is definitely not a tiki-taka tactic, and shots per game sitting literally 0.5 under 20. So And I forgot to say, I'm gonna say it. We also do win the Carabao Cup 4-0 over Liverpool. So you know what? It's a Premier League win, which I think is a big overachievement. A Carabao Cup win, a semi-final appearance in the FA Cup, and a Champions League final. I think that's pretty decent. Sorry if there are any United fans in the building, because I know it can't really get much worse, but we are going to show some highlights against United because they've got a great team in the game, and what I will say is you wouldn't think it, because we are going to go right through inside of 26 minutes and go 1-0 up with a great goal from Anthony Gordon. And that's what I really liked about Gordon in this system. The game actually played him up front, so he got a real good chance to go and score a ton of goals. And as you can see, he's not shy. He's not shy of scoring one-on-ones. He didn't really put a foot wrong, and once again, as expected, there is going to be a set-piece goal in there. Trust me, just go and get them. They're absolutely nuts. We are also going to put a test through with FC20, probably the weakest season if you want to be very harsh on me here, because we still have outclassed Feyenoord, PSV, and a very, very weak Ajax team this season. We do draw 3 and we do lose 2 games there, but as you can see from this league table, going right here, we are still going to be clearly top, and the stats were very much in our favour. Most goals, most shots, fewer shots against, even quite good with possession with this team, the most dribbles, the most clean sheets, and tied with Ajax when it comes to conceded. So a very, very, very strong season. Now the data hub again is going to be impressive. 0.62 conceded. Even with a team like FC20 with not as good attacking players, we still are scoring way over 3 goals a game. I believe the best pass completion as well, which might be because we are in a bit of an easier league, so that has to be said. And the shots per game remain fairly consistent. Now, we are also going to go on and appear in a Europa Conference League final, which we do lose, but just to show it, it was a very, very close game, and we also are going to lift that Dutch Cup over FC Utrecht 3-0. So, a great season with 20, obviously Champions League football in Season 1, league title winners, and winning the Dutch Cup, and getting to a final of the Conference League. Yeah. And let's pull back the years for rookie Van Wolfswinkel. And for anyone wondering what happened when you do face the best teams in the league, like PSV, who are literally predicted to finish first, this is usually what happened. And I'm going to be honest, Van Wolfswinkel surprised me with how good he was. Now, for in this league, he's actually a very, very good striker, but just the way that he was moving in this role is very, very surprising, and also very, very good. And Booth, by the way, probably by far our top assister, also managing to get in on the goals on this game. A 2-0 lead inside of 18 minutes, and it got even better. We're going to go 3-0 up now inside of 22 minutes with a great touch inside. That is a great bit of technique, and Booth is simply going to get the rebound, and I don't hate it. You've got to be in the right positions. Now, I will go over and say as well, for a PSV team that have looked very exciting this season, we've recently done a rebuild with them as well on the second channel. They have got some very, very good players, and we simply tore them apart. I mean, it's not a perfect game. We are going to concede a goal with Bakayoko. It's a good ball in, and very rarely we do, but we do concede a set piece. A bit of a scrappy one to concede, but nevertheless, it is a set piece. It does go in. It is what it is. But whatever PSV were trying there, I don't think they'll ever try again, because we win the ball back, and it does end up in resulting in the goal. And do you know what? One thing that I've noticed about this tactic as well, despite being quite unorthodox, it does everything very, very well. It defends well, it can control the ball, and you can score a ton of goals. We win that 5-2. Now over to your favourite part of the video, that is going to be the tactic breakdown. If you are enjoying, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And once again, if you do enjoy rebuilds, make sure you come on over to Daily Josh. It's going to be in the description below, because we put up a rebuild every other day, and your team probably has been done. If not, leave a comment on that channel and I will make it happen. But to make this tactic, all you want to do is simply load in a curate your own style and select the 4-4-2. We're going old school, but it has got a big modern twist, and then go and simply confirm it. Now, the first thing and big thing you want to do is go down to the bottom left and change to positive, because despite it being a 4-4-2, it is the opposite of a negative 4-4-2. It's very attacking with 2 lethal players up front, so make sure you are set to attack, or to positive, but to the attacking mindset. Just to clarify, positive down in the bottom left. Now, going over to the goalkeeper, we are going to implement a goalkeeper, simply on defend, with no custom instructions. Going over to the right back, we are going to use a wing back on automatic. Now, of course, in real life, they have got Carvajal, who's one of my favourite right backs of all time, but he is getting old, the legs are going a little bit, and he's not always now getting forward as much. So, I've not got a direct instruction for him to get further forwards, or, for example, to dribble more. Naturally in the game, he will get forward and he will help the attack, but not as much as probably someone on the attacking role or being specifically told to get further forward would. He is there to defend and occasionally chip in with the attack. Now, going over to both of the ball-playing defenders, that is right, 2 ball-playing defenders, I've gone ahead and kept these both on default. The argument could be made, somebody like Rudiger could be argued to be on tackle harder because he really does get stuck in. For me, I don't really think it justifies it in the instructions, so we are going to leave both of them simply on the default. Going over to the left back, of course we have got a bit more energy at left back. We are going to use another wing back who is going to be set to automatic, and he plays a big role because when you see the role ahead of him, you can see why this player is so attacking. Now, when we go over to the wing back, we are going to look to have some instructions consisting of running wide, getting forward, staying wide, and also tackling harder. Now, of course, we've got much of a younger wing back in this position, so he can hack going up and down the pitch more, and he can help attack big time. And I think the next thing I really need to do is show you what role we're using out on this side, so it sort of makes a lot more sense, because we are actually going to use a role that I don't believe I may have used this year. We are going to go and use a wide midfield player, and he is also going to be set to automatic, and he has got some instructions. Those are going to consist of take more risks, alongside of dribbling more, cutting inside, and also getting further forwards. Now, if you look at the team sheet when they played Man City, Bellingham was out on the left-hand side, and he can play that role because he will naturally come inside and usually occupy this sort of role here, so he actually does appear to play quite centrally, but on actual paper, he does start on the left-hand side in back-to-back games, so we are going to put him on that left-hand side. Now, going over to the 2 in midfield who play a big part in this team, and they've got to be this way round as well, we are going to operate with a box-to-box on support, and he is going to be told to get forwards and also tackle harder. Now, the great thing about this, and I mean the great thing, is this box-to-box will get forwards. So if you imagine, I can't lock him in, but if you imagine his sort of positioned around here, Bellingham can then drift in and fill that position, and as you can see, if you can sort of add things up, we're going back to playing that diamond shape. So it does go back into that nice sort of diamond 4-4-2, as on this side we are going to operate with an inverted winger on attack, who, as you know, will also cut inside and therefore form some form of narrow system. So it is really well put together from Carlo Ancelotti, one of the best managers in the world. He really does know what he's doing, and in the Champions League, you can never write the guy off. Now, next to the box-to-box, we are going to use a CM, funny enough, on defend, simply on shoot less and also tackle harder. I do want to quickly say at this part of the video, if you are enjoying and you want to get all of these wonderful perks, including all 3 of these tactics today, get them on console, get them on mobile, all of my rebuild files, access to this month's giveaway, which is £700, which has got 6 days left, you can come on over and join the Patreon and be part of a team of 5,100 people. We've got a massive group chat, tons of other perks as well, which you can see. Make sure you come on over and get involved, because we're absolutely cooking over there, and if you are interested in the live streams, you also get ad-free viewing watching it on that platform, so make sure you head on over. But going to the front too, when you've got the likes of Vinicius and Mbappe, you've got to treat them the same, and for me, they both would be described as advanced forwards, and both of them are also going to be told to roam from position. And as you can probably imagine, without even playing yourselves, when you've got Vinicius and Mbappe up front, roaming about, getting into different pockets, the goals you're going to score are going to be absolutely incredible. Tons of goals going in. Now, going over to the team instructions, we are going to run through this right away. We are going to remain on fairly wide. We are also going to play out from the back, with low crosses being selected, pass into space. We're not afraid to go a bit more direct when we need to. Run at defence, which means you're going to have, you know, a lot of world-class players running forward. The passing down by 1 and the tempo all the way up to higher. In transition, we're going to counter press and counter, and simply take short goal kicks. So pretty reserved so far. And lastly, out of possession, we're going to go with that high press, the standard line, maxed out trigger press, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, and also get stuck in. Now let's go over an attacking version of this tactic for if you're trying to get back into a game, or if you fancy just going in against someone who's not that great, you want to try and get some goal difference, maybe you're a goal down in an aggregate game, something like that. Basically, whenever you need a goal, I would switch to this, because it just elevates the tactic a little bit. So starting off, the goalkeepers and the goalkeeper and the ball playing defenders does not change. They're simply remaining exactly the same. The wing back on the right and on the left are both both now very attacking. So yes, poor Carvajal will be running up and down the pitch. 2 wing-backs, both on automatic, take more risks, cross more often, run wide, get forward, stay wide, and also tackle harder. It's a lot of instructions, but remember, when you have them on automatic, they have no instructions by default, so I have to manually add them. Now on the left, we're going to stick with that wide midfield player, but this time on attack, on take more risks, dribble more, and also cut inside. On the right, exactly the same. Now, a bit of a change, we are going to add a DLP in on more direct passes and also tackle harder. The box-to-box does remain the same, and the advanced forwards also do remain unchanged. Now, going over to the actual team instructions, once again, we are going to be on attacking, once again, on fairly wide. This is where things take a bit of a change. The final third doesn't, this does. We are now going to look to get both of these players overlapping on the left and the right-hand side. The tempo does remain the same, as does the passing, and also run at defence, of course, is going to remain unchanged. Now going over to the in transition, we're going to counter press, counter, take long goal kick, so a bit of a change, really look to get pretty much over the top to Mbappe, into Vinicius, and just take on the entire back line. And lastly, we are going to add in distribute quickly. Out of possession, there is going to be one key change. That is going to be the addition of the higher defensive line. Step up more, get stuck in, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, and a maxed out trigger press. Nice and simple. And to finish it off, a defensive version to either be used with an underdog team, for example, I used FC24 with it, or if you are going to go and try and defend a game out with in the last sort of 20-30 minutes, this is exactly what you want. Now I will say, this is not the most defensive tactic I've ever made, because it still does take risks, but it is good for sitting back, absorbing pressure, and playing more direct. Now, both of the strikers, first of all, do remain the same. The wide midfield player, now on automatic, on take more risks and cut inside. The inverted winger drops down to support, on take more risks and get further forwards. The CM comes back in on defend, as does the default version, and next to him we are going to have for the first time a ball-winning midfield player. Both of the centre-backs remain unchanged, the wing-backs change again, this time on defend and also tackle harder, so not much real attack and sort of play from them. They're there now just to defend, because we've got players ahead of them that can also contribute to the attack, and the goalkeeper, he of course does remain the same. Now, because we have made a lot of changes in terms of player roles, making a few more people defensive, we are still going to use positive when it comes to mentality. We are still going to keep the same width. We are still going to have the low crosses, pass into the space and play out from the back. But this is where the tactic really does change, because the tempo actually remains bang on in the middle. The passing goes up by quite a fair bit to a more direct approach, and if you're trying to use this tactic to sort of seal out a game, not to go into a game with, you would also add in time wasting, and also, if you've got them, play for set pieces alongside of hit early crosses, because this now goes to that sort of dark elements of the game where you are time wasting, you are really trying to run the clock down. Now if you are using this over a whole season like I did with 20, I personally just turned the time wasting off and I kept the set pieces on because I know how good mine are, and if you've got mine, I would recommend it. So just to clarify, if you're using it to sort of defend a game out with, add on the time wasting. If you're using it for a whole season, do not have the time wasted on. In transition, to finish it off, we are going to go with regroup, counter, and also take short goal kicks. And how could I forget the out of possession? We are going to go with the standard line, the high press, bang on in the middle when it comes to that trigger press, and also get stuck in. And that's going to give you boys and girls a defensive version, an attacking version, and a default version of Ancelotti's 4-4-2, his current Madrid system, which works really well against tough opposition, a different alternative to that 4-3-3. If you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Once again, make sure you come on over to the live streams. We're live a lot right now, and hopefully I'll see you there. Enjoy the rest of your day.